Right now, I want you to pause, breathe, and get brutally honest with yourself. Are you really living your life, or just surviving it? Because most people, and I mean most, are not broken. They're just buried. Buried beneath years of stress, pain, trauma, opinions, obligations, labels, lies. And here's the truth that no one told you. You were not born with fear. You were not born with doubt. You were born with fire, with clarity, with purpose. But life, and let's be real, it came at you hard. You got knocked down, conditioned, silenced, numbed, and now you're walking through life with a powerful mind that's been hijacked, filled with noise, confusion, exhaustion. But deep inside you, something still knows, something still remembers the truth, that you were meant for more, that you were built to lead, not follow, that your mind isn't broken, it's just waiting to be restored. And that's what today is about, because I'm not here to motivate you for a few minutes. I'm not here to entertain you. I'm here to grab you by the soul and wake you the hell up. This isn't a pep talk. This is an activation. If you listen to this, if you absorb this message and embody it, your life will never be the same again. But you've got to stay with me. Every second counts. Don't check out. Don't scroll. Don't go numb. This is your moment. Let's restore your mind and take your power back for good. Ladies and gentlemen, stop what you're doing and hear this. This moment, right now, might be the most important pivot of your entire life. Because if you're like most people, you've been walking through life wearing invisible chains. Chained by self-doubt, chained by the past, chained by voices that are not even your own. And every day you carry a mind that feels like it's been hijacked, full of noise, fear, anxiety, confusion. But let me tell you the truth. Your mind is not broken. It is buried. Buried under the stress, buried under the pain, buried under what the world told you you're not. But just like a diamond buried deep in the earth, your true mind, your powerful, peaceful, decisive, unstoppable self, it's still there, waiting, right now, to be claimed. See, most people try to change their lives by fixing what's outside. They hustle, they grind, they chase more money, more validation, more success. But the real shift, the one that lasts, begins by restoring your mind. Because here's the truth, you don't get what you want. You get what you are. So if your mind is filled with chaos, don't be surprised if your life is too. You restore your mind not by learning a trick, but by making a decision. A decision to stop being a prisoner of your thoughts. A decision to stop accepting limitations that were never yours to begin with. You restore your mind when you shift from being a thinker to being a creator. You restore your mind when you stop listening to fear and start listening to what fuels you: purpose, vision, love, mission. And how do you do it? You shift your state. Because when you change your state, your emotion, your mind will follow. Get up, move your body, breathe like a warrior, speak life into yourself, flood your system with gratitude. Remember who the hell you are, because the moment you feel different, you start to think different. And when you think different, you choose different. And when you choose different, your world transforms. So let me ask you right now, are you ready to restore your mind? Not tomorrow, not when it's easy, not when everything lines up. I'm talking about right now, because life is too short to live with a hijacked brain. It's time to take back your power. It's time to restore your mind. And remember who you were before the world made you forget. Let's go. You don't need to be fixed. You're not broken. That idea, that belief that there's something fundamentally wrong with you, that's the first lie we've got to destroy. Because when you believe you're broken, you stop trying to rise, you stop reaching, you start settling. And life doesn't respond to people who settle. It responds to people who decide. People who declare, this ends here. I'm taking back control. See, your mind, that beautiful, powerful, God-given tool, it's still in you. Still whole, still sharp, still strong, but it's been buried. It's been layered over with years of noise, patterns, trauma, expectations, disappointments, and conditioning that never belonged to you. Most of what you believe about yourself, someone else planted that in you and you bought it, you rehearsed it, you repeated it, until you forgot who you really were. You started to see your reflection through other people's projections, and that's when your mind started to fracture. Not because it was weak, but because it was being fed garbage. You weren't born with self-doubt. You weren't born afraid to speak up. You weren't born second, guessing your every move. That's not your design, that's your programming. You've been taught how to think, how to feel, how to shrink, and now you think you're stuck. But here's the truth: you don't need more information. You don't need more motivation. You need restoration. You need to clear the debris, the noise, the false beliefs. You need to get quiet enough to hear your real voice again. The one beneath the ego, beneath the fear, beneath the stories. Because the real you, the powerful you, has never left. That part of you is eternal, and it's waiting for you to stop identifying with the wounded version of yourself. Waiting for you to stop saying, "This is just who I am." Waiting for you to reclaim your power, not by force, but by remembrance. This is not about becoming someone new. It's about returning to who you've always been. The clarity, the focus, the drive, the calm, it's all still inside you, but you've got to go in. You've got to dig. You've got to stop avoiding the silence and face the mirror. Because the day you stop trying to escape yourself and instead go inward with love, with hunger, with honesty, that's the day your mind begins to restore itself. You don't need a miracle, you are the miracle. Now wake that part of you up. Emotion is the power source of your entire life. It is the ignition switch for change, the gateway to transformation. Most people are trying to change their life by changing their thoughts, and that's important, but they're missing the deeper truth. If you want to change your mind, you have to change your emotional state first. Because emotion is what drives motion, it's what drives focus, it's what determines whether you take action, whether you connect, whether you grow, whether you fight or fold. Logic can raise a question. Emotion makes a decision, and when your emotions are stuck in fear, anxiety, guilt, or apathy, your mind has no oxygen. It's trying to function inside a prison. You can't think clearly when your body is drowning in survival mode. You can't access vision, purpose, or clarity when you're living under a cloud of suppressed emotions that were never processed, just pushed down and buried. But here's what most people don't realize: you are not a victim of emotion. You are the creator of it. You don't have to wait for joy to show up. You don't have to wait for confidence to arrive. You can generate it. You can condition it. Just like you train your muscles in the gym, you can train your nervous system to feel elevated emotions: gratitude, courage, certainty, love. And once you shift your emotional state, your whole psychology starts to follow. Your body changes, your thoughts become more resourceful, your mind becomes a tool instead of a trap. See, people say, "I don't feel motivated," but motivation isn't something you wait for, it's something you create. You breathe differently, you move differently, you speak differently, and suddenly the emotion starts to rise, and with that emotion comes energy. And when you've got energy, your whole life starts to open up. Because now you're not thinking from fear, you're thinking from power. You're no longer reacting, you're responding. You're no longer coping, you're creating. This is why every transformation starts with a shift in state. Not months from now, not after therapy, not after you get that job. Right now, you've got the power to flood your system with new emotion, not fake positivity, but real, grounded, embodied emotion that reminds your brain and your body who you really are. And from that state, from that emotional shift, everything changes. Decisions get easier, problems shrink, vision expands, because the truth is, you don't need a new brain, you need a new pattern, and emotion is the doorway. Walk through it and you'll remember what it feels like to be alive again, not just existing, alive. So the question is, are you going to wait to feel better, or are you going to step into the fire and create that shift right now?